In this video, we're doing some product photography in my studio, and the product is absolutely amazing. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So I have this fantastic photo assignment. It is a product shot of a watch. This was given to me by a high-end jewelry store in Greenwich, Connecticut. It is a Voutilainen. It is a beautiful watch, beautiful from the front and as beautiful from the back. So my challenge is to not only photograph some of the details using my macro lens, but hopefully come up with some really creative shots where I can feature this product in a very unique way that obviously we want the watch to be the star, but I want an interesting setting as well. Got my studio back here. Let's get started with the first shot. So for the first shot, I want to do a detailed photo of the front. It's just beautiful. The challenge you have with watch photography is watches tend to have a lot of reflective surfaces. So you have to light it in such a way that you can still see all the details in the watch face or the back, because I'll be shooting the back as well. I don't have sort of one of those light cones which evenly distributes light, so I have to kind of mimic that to some extent. And I think the way to start is to use as big a light source as you can have. So let me just turn this around, and you'll see I've got a 2x3 softbox on a stand, and then down below, of course, I have the watch. And so I have it kind of coming from above, but it's a fairly big light source relative to the watch. Camera on a tripod. Let me take a shot of this. I'll show you what it looks like, and then if we have to adjust, we will adjust. Okay, well, I set the light down fairly far. I want that light really close to the subject, because if it's closer, it's actually a bigger light source. And so let me look back here. I already set it up from a compositional standpoint. Take a shot, and it's pretty good. Let me put it up on the screen now. You can take a look at it. So as you can see, it's a good shot. You do have a lot of reflection on the edge on the upper left, because that's where the light's coming from. The other side is kind of dark. So what I think I want to do is add some reflection back into the scene so I can even out that light a little bit. So I want to bounce some light back into this scene. So I had gone to an art supply store and I bought a bunch of these white cards. I'm just going to set it up really in front of the watch to some extent. I'll use this as a stand, but it doesn't really matter what you use. I'm going to pop it right in here. I hope you can see that. It looks like you can. Make sure it's not covering the lens. Let's take another shot. And yeah, you can see the difference. There's a lot more light coming in from underneath, and it evens out that light quite a bit. So that's a better shot. I like that. I think I can add a little bit more light by putting another reflector, which I have with me, on the side and really surround the watch more effectively. So let's go to pop that in right here. So it's in super close, and I'm really surrounding the watch now with these reflectors and the light. So let's take a shot again. Oh yeah, definitely better, makes a big difference. Well, I think that last shot was a good one. I am going to try one more thing to see if I can create an even softer light. This requires one more piece of equipment. It's not very expensive. Let me grab that now. I'll show you what I'm doing. So to create an even softer light, I'm going to use this. This is my 5-in-1 reflector. I took the outside off, so it really is just a scrim. But this size is a little bit bigger than the size of the softbox. What I did was I raised the softbox up. I turned the power and the light up a little bit. In fact, I'm going to turn it up a little bit more, I think. I'm going to take the shot again. This time I'm going to hold the scrim right over where the watch and my camera are. And hopefully that will soften things up even more. My camera I set to a timer, So I can just hit the shutter, hold this right over the scene, and now if you look at it now, you'll see the light's even softer. And so it actually was very effective using this. Well, I was happy with the shot from the front. I actually went back and changed some things. I texted the owner of the jewelry store, and they asked me for a couple of other things. So I made some other changes, but overall, pretty good experience. My lighting was good. The back of the watch, now that's tricky. A lot of little details. I'm using my macro lens, trying to get it as tight as I can. Lighting is a challenge. I tried many different things. I'll show you what I ended up with. So first, let me show you the setup. So shooting the back of the watch, I could have laid it flat, but instead, I took some wire, I attached it to a crossbar from a C-stand I have set up, attached to the watch there, the buckle, and then to keep it very still, I have that clip on the bottom attached to this. This is a stand for like a soldering iron or something, but it's keeping it very still so I can get a good focus. Camera on a tripod this way, I can get a pretty good focus. As far as lighting goes, I've got a bare bulb strobe over here. That's my B10X. And what I've been doing is putting this on a timer and holding up that reflector. So let me go through it. I'll show you what it looked like. Okay, so I'm using my reflector again as a scrim, really. I am going to use one of these cards. I'm going to hand hold it to put it in, but I'm basically going to fire off a shot, and again, this is on a timer. I'm going to hold this up as close as I can to the watch with a little bit of an angle, and bam. This is what I came up with. Did some work in post on it, but generally that's pretty close to what I came up with. Not bad. All right, so I think I'm pretty good with those detailed shots. I think the back one looks amazing. The front one, I think, is good. Again, went back and forth with the store owner a little bit, but I think we're good there. I'm gonna move on to some more creative ones. So after I picked up the watch this morning, I went to a fabric store and got some silk. And I'm gonna use that silk in what I hope is a very creative way to highlight this watch. Let me get the silk. So the goal is to shoot the watch in sort of a swirl of silk. There's actually two pieces of silk here. So I'm gonna lay this out. This is just a holder for one of my filters, CTO gel actually. But I'm gonna take this and start turning and turn till I get what is a pretty cool little swirl. Probably might be some trial and error going on here, but you get a sense of what I am going for. Something like that. Got to get the watch in here and get some shots. All right, so I set up the watch in my silk swirl. I did add this reflector. This is a very inexpensive reflector, just set up on the side, because what I want to do is get kind of a shaft of light coming through the scene here, hitting the watch. So to do that, I am using a strobe. I've got a snoot on there. In addition, I made this very inexpensive added snoot. It's kind of made this slit with this cinefoil. Cinefoil is a great tool, very inexpensive, but very flexible. And so essentially I've got this little slit of light coming through. Hopefully it will come down, illuminate the watch. I'll get a little bit of bounce to fill it in, and hopefully we'll get a kind of a nice dramatic shot. And my hope is that the top of the silk will kind of pick up on this. You'll see a lot of texture and depth in that silk, as well as highlighting the watch. See how it goes. Well, Well, I got some good shots so far. It is tomorrow already. I had to quit shooting yesterday and had dinner plans, but I did talk to my client and they really wanted a little bit more light on the face of the watch. Really what they wanted was the numbers on the watch, which are, I guess, some sort of silver or chrome. They wanted them to be white and not black. And so that means getting more light in front, which is tricky because it's very reflective. And so I've been playing around with things, but I'm trying something else today, which I think is really kind of cool, and I'm getting some good shots. But again, the challenge is to light it in such a way where those numbers are kind of lit up to some extent. They're white without getting the whole thing blown out or too much reflection from the glass. Let me show you the setup I have and how I'm doing it. So my goal with this is to get a picture of the watch with a nice orange glow in the back on that black backdrop. So to isolate the watch, I'm using these wires that attach to the crossbar here. Got that holder down there like I've used before. And in the background, it's really simple. I've just got black poster board set up on this ottoman. But under the table, I've got a light with a CTO, an orange gel on it, and a grid that's going to splash onto this background. As far as the lighting of the watch, I ended up using a very big light source. This is a, I don't know, a 6 or 7 foot umbrella with a scrim on top of it. Now when I did this, shot just with this, the issue was I was getting a reflection of kind of the light stand and the umbrella in the watch, which I don't want. So I got a workaround. In addition, I put some reflective paper, some white paper on the table, on the side here, and even over here, just to add some light to the scene. Let me get this vlogging cam on a tripod. I'll show you how I'm taking the picture. So to deal with the reflection of the light in the stand in the watch, I'm going to use my scrim again, this reflector, and I'm going to hold it up. So I've got my camera on a tripod. I've got the focus set already, so and it's on a timer. So I'm just going to click off a shot. I'm going to hold this in front, so it will block any reflection from the stand. Obviously the light will go through there and provide some nice even light, and bam, that is a really cool shot. So a while back I was shopping for props for still lifes and I found these old rusty tools, and I just thought it would be a nice contrast with this beautiful watch, clean, simple, wonderful color against some somewhat ugly, rusty, used tool. So let me show you the setup. Let me just turn this around. And I basically have this setup here where I have the watch in the middle of these wrenches and screws. I think I want to add more to this though. I think what I'm going to do, I just bought a Smoke Ninja, and it does some dry ice effect. Let me just turn this around. You can see me again. So I'm going to get my Smoke Ninja. I'm going to light this from the top. I'm going to use that scrim again just to make even light. And probably take some trial and error, but I'll see how it comes out. Hopefully it'll be really cool. Okay, I've got my camera on a tripod and on a timer. So I'm going to put in some dry ice just around the watch and these tools. I don't know if you can see it too closely, but very cool stuff. It will settle in a little bit. I might even give it just a little puff just to move things around. So I got the dry ice. I'm gonna click off a shot. Hopefully I won't be in your way, but I'm gonna hold this over it just to get some nice even light on there. And I got some reflectors in there as well. And let's take a look. Ah, very cool. Check this out. So I did get more props at the art supply store. Just a jar of these really pretty rocks, kind of shiny rocks. I thought it would make kind of a cool backdrop. The other thing I did is I changed the band on the watch. They wanted shots with the blue band and also this red band as well. So I'll mix it up a little bit. Well, my studio was quickly becoming a real mess, but for this shot, I wanted to create sort of basically a big soft light. So what I did was I put 3 reflectors here, all very expensive reflectors, just basically white cardboard. And then I balanced my scrim, or my big reflector, just on a crossbar of a C-stand and the top of this other light stand. I got the light coming in from an angle above, and I'm just getting right in there with my macro lens and shooting down. And I think it's going to come out okay. Let me get some shots. Well, I was looking around my studio for other props, and I've got this great collection of old cameras. So again, just kind of messing around, figure I'd try this shot and see how it comes out. Same setup as before with the lighting. Okay, so this will be my last shot. I'm trying to get creative. So I'm getting a shot of the watch hanging in front of the New York Times crossword puzzle. The puzzle will be a little out of focus because there's obviously some depth between the watch and the magazine, and when you're using a macro lens, it's a pretty shallow depth of field. And then for lighting, I kind of surrounded this with white cardboard, and I'm shooting back here with this is a beauty dish, but I'm actually going to have that scrim over there in back of me. I'm not going to show you the setup and everything, but I will show you the photo, how it came out. Well, I took a bunch more photos. I did not vlog them all, but I wanted to put them up just so you could see them. I tried to get a little creative, a little artistic. I was really happy with how they came out, and fortunately the store was also happy with how they came out, so hopefully there's more jobs ahead. Okay, that was a lot of work and a lot of fun. Hopefully you got something out of it as well. You enjoyed seeing me come up with hopefully some creative ideas for product photography and seeing how I lit them. Still a work in progress for me. Hey, if you did like the video, it does help the channel just to give me a thumbs up, a like. If you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if there are other ideas you want to see in studio or outside, put a comment down below. Let me know. I'll be happy to give it a try. Till next time.